rolls in, you can hear him. Hooves on the thunder, chains on the wind, and the sky turns to fire. I saw him first where the canyon bends, where the lightning fractures and the daylight ends. 100 silhouettes against the gray, riding the storm that won't fade away. No faces, just shadows in worn-out coats, following some forgotten endless note. The sky cracked open, the thunder roared, and the spectral cattle stamped toward the shore. Ghost riders in the sky, chasing a herd that'll never die, with eyes of fire and rains of rain, through the canyons of sorrow, through the fields of pain. You can hear the whips, you can hear the cry of the ghost riders riding through the sky. Old-timers say they were outlaws once, broke every law, left every fence. Now they pay the debt in an endless run, beneath the moon and the setting sun. No rest for the restless, no sleep for the bold, just the sound of hooves and the bitter cold. If you hear them calling on a midnight ride, best keep your soul clean, best step aside. Ghost riders in the sky, chasing a herd that'll never die, with eyes of fire and rains of rain, through the canyons of sorrow, through the fields of pain. You can hear the whips, you can hear the cry of the ghost riders riding through the sky. They don't want your gold, they don't want your name, just the echo of regret and the weight of shame. But if you stand your ground when the storm rolls through, they'll tip their hats and ride on by you. Ghost riders in the sky, chasing a legend that won't say why, with hearts of iron and rains of rain, through the canyons of sorrow, through the fields of pain. You can hear the whips, you can hear the cry of the ghost riders riding through the sky. The storm passes, the sky clears, but the hoofbeats never really stop. Most folks hear the hoofbeats and run. I didn't. I followed them straight into the storm. The moon hung low above the plains. The cold wind carried whispers and rain. Through sheets of lightning their shadows came, 100 riders calling my name. Their horses thundered across the night like restless spirits without daylight. No fear remained, no turning back. I pulled my reins and joined their track. The storm grew louder, the sky turned black. One lonely trail, no turning back. I rode with the ghost riders through fire and rain, across the canyons of regret and pain. Their shadows led the way beneath the midnight sky. I rode beside the ghost rider, riding through the sky. No spoken words, no smiling face, only silence filled that place. Each weathered rider carried the past, searching for peace that never lasts. The stars looked down without a sound, only hoofbeats shook the ground. I knew somehow before first light my life would change before sunrise. Some roads are chosen, some choose you. That storm revealed what legends knew. I rode with the ghost riders through fire and rain, across the canyons of regret and pain. Their shadows led the way beneath the midnight sky. I rode beside the ghost rider, riding through the sky. Then one old rider turned my way. His burning eyes had much to say. He tipped his hat and raised his hand like every outlaw could understand. He said, every man must choose his trail. Honor rides when courage prevails. Gold will vanish, fame will fade, only your soul remains. The thunder rolled, the heavens cried, then all at once they disappeared. The shadows faded, but their hoofbeats never left me. They still ride through my mind like an old forgotten prayer. The ghost riders are still out there, riding through the sky. The storm moved on, the sky turned blue. Some folks say it was only the wind, but every time the thunder rolls, I tip my hat and listen, because somewhere Beyond the clouds, the ghost riders still ride. Still ride. When the moon turns red and the wind stops blowing, you best keep your fire burning, because that's when the devil rides. There's a trail beyond the canyon where the dead grass never grows, and a cold wind crosses over where the old black river flows. They say a rider comes at midnight with a black horse made of flame, and if you hear those iron horseshoes, you better never speak his name. I heard the thunder rolling, though the sky was clear and still. Then I saw a shadow climbing up the side of Devil's Hill. The devil rides at midnight when the moon hangs cold and white, with 100 burning riders coming down the mountainside. The devil rides at midnight and the dead come back to ride. So keep your eyes upon the darkness and your soul locked deep inside. There were cowboys in the saddle, with their faces hard and pale, old guns hanging from their leather, and their coats were torn and frail. They had chased a herd of thunder across 1,000 miles of sky. Now they're riding through the darkness, and they never seem to die. Then the lead rider stopped there, and he looked straight into my eyes. He said, "Cowboy, you've been warned now. Don't be here when morning arrives." The devil rides at midnight when the moon hangs cold and white, with 100 burning riders coming down the mountainside. The devil rides at midnight and the dead come back to ride. So keep your eyes upon the darkness and your soul locked deep inside. I reached down for my 6-gun, but my hand began to shake, because the rider standing before me had no face beneath his hat. He whispered, "Every cowboy has a reckoning. Every outlaw has a price. And every man who rides forever must eventually pay the night." The devil rides at midnight Hear those iron horses cry, thunder rolling through the canyon, like a storm across the sky. The devil rides at midnight, and the ghost riders ride beside. When the gates of hell are open, there ain't nowhere left to hide. So if you hear those horses, when the clock strikes 12, don't look back, because the devil is riding. The moon was hanging silver above the desert floor, and somewhere in the distance I heard those riders once more. No campfire in the canyon, no footsteps in the sand, just a line of black silhouettes moving across the land. Riders beneath the moon, riding through the night, moving like a shadow, disappearing from the light. Riders beneath the moon, where the wild winds blow. Nobody knows where they come from, nobody knows where they go. Their horses made no thunder, their shadows made no sound, but every time they passed me, the temperature went down. I saw an old man riding with a scar across his face. He looked toward me slowly, then vanished without a trace. Riders beneath the moon, riding through the night, moving like a shadow, disappearing from the light. Riders beneath the moon, where the wild winds blow. Nobody knows where they come from, nobody knows where they go. Maybe they're the cowboys who never found their way. Maybe they're the lost ones who still ride night and day. Maybe they're the stories that the old men used to tell. Or maybe when the moon is full, the dead come out of hell. Riders beneath the moon, ride across the plain, through the dust and through the darkness, through the cold and through the rain. Riders beneath the moon, until the morning comes, and when the sun begins to rise, they're gone without a sound. But when the moon comes back, so riders.